What's going on, everybody? So in this video I'm bringing you 15 of my favorite fragrances that just make me want to keep smelling them when I wear them. They're just so intoxicating. It's an addictive aroma that I just can't get enough. I'm sure you have a few fragrances like that in your wardrobe. Well, I want to give you my 15, so stay tuned. Starting with one of the newest designer releases out there. It's pricey for what it is, don't get me wrong, but if you sample it, you're probably, or at least more than likely, going to end up wanting to get a bottle of DIOR SAUVAGE ELIXIR. For me, it is a stunning, aromatic, woody, spicy scent that dials up the spices up top. Cardamom, cinnamon, and this dry, woody, spicy nutmeg smell. Gives that wood shop, that dry, woody type of smell with some creamy sandalwood to add to that woody nature and a lot of lavender to really make this thing aromatic without making it a soapy fragrance. That's my favorite part about what was done with the lavender here, is they didn't make it a very soapy fragrance but still has that strong aromatic quality. It's got a nice strong trail. It's long lasting, it's powerful, but without being too powerful. It doesn't fill a room, but it's a strong, consistent type of projection as well as the sillage. It's dense without being too heavy. It's just a gorgeous scent. It's one that I can't stop smelling when I do wear it. Definitely a try before you buy, because like I said, $155 for a 60 ml designer is pricey, but personally I had no issues spending it because it smells that damn good. Intoxicating is an understatement for SAUVAGE ELIXIR. Quite possibly my favorite amber vanilla. If not my favorite, it's a close second to whatever I would deem number one. And it's understated how benzoin forward this actually is. I'm talking about MAISON KURKDJIAN. It's Grand Soir. This is a gorgeous scent. Like I said, the quality's there. The performance is there. The benzoin adds this pop, this brightness, this effervescent quality to the top of this fragrance. Almost a boozy, cognac-y type of smell, that sweet aroma. When typically benzoin can give off a strong vanillic quality to it, and I'm sure it does add to this creamy vanilla that is in here, I feel like it really adds that bright pop and almost a slight boozy nuance to it to really round it off, give it some character, and help it avoid being just another boring vanilla amber scent, which, because there's not a lot of them out there, but this is so masterfully done by Francis Kurkdjian. It's a gorgeous aroma. I've never smelled it on a lady. My wife's never worn this one, so I'm not sure what it smells like off of a lady's skin, but I'm pretty sure it's going to smell great, because if it's anything close to how it smells coming off of my skin, it'll make me want to keep on smelling it, because every time I wear it, it definitely does that for me. One of the best amber vanillas out there, MAISON KURKDJIAN Grand Soir. While I would deem the L'Intense flanker maybe a little bit more well-rounded and put together overall, even though it's much more smoky, because of this heightened cherry note, this is just so much more intoxicating and sexy and addictive. I'm talking about GUERLAIN L'Homme Idéal, the Eau de Parfum flanker. So I can imagine ladies wearing this one. If you like a sweet leather scent, I can see some ladies enjoying this one as well. But on my skin, the cherry is very dominant. Out in the air like this, the cherry is very dominant, but that bitter almond adds this creamy nature that really rounds the fragrance off to where it's not too sweet, but it's also not too much leather either. There's some other notes in there, but that's the most dominating things I smell is the cherry, the almond, and the leather, and what they bring to the table really makes this fragrance what it's all about. It's an intoxicating scent trail. This stuff will turn a head when you walk by somebody. Is it going to turn everybody's head? No. But there's a really good chance it's going to turn some heads when you walk by, because it's that type of aroma. It doesn't smell like every fragrance out there that you're going to walk by somebody having on. It's not your run-of-the-mill blue fragrance or your masculine barbershop fougere. It's not the mass appealing type. It's the interesting type. It's sweet and intoxicating without being too sweet. Has a lot of character. The quality's definitely there, and I just can't stop smelling it when I wear it. GUERLAIN L'Homme Idéal EDP. Now, we covered one amber vanilla already, but this takes amber and vanilla to the next level. This then adds this lovely cinnamon, this beautiful, not overdone oud, and a whole bunch of honey. I'm talking about MONTALE's Honey Oud. This fragrance is phenomenal. This is my favorite from MONTALE because the oud is not overdone. So if you're not a big fan of heavy ouds, you might still really like this one. The sweetness is not just too much, even though it's full of this thick honey smell. With this creamy vanilla, it's not too sweet. There's a heavy dose of cinnamon and amber here to really warm and spice things up, but it's not too warm and spicy. You get where I'm going here? It's so well blended. The notes really complement one another so well. It's like a piece of agarwood coated with honey, with an amber core sprinkled with some cinnamon and vanilla, like shaved vanilla on top of it. Picture that. That's kind of where I go when I smell this. It's an olfactory treat, in my opinion. This one's very, very pronounced. This is bordering that room-filling territory. Crazy long-lasting. Performance is far from mediocre with this one. So if you're looking for one of those loud, long-lasting type of fragrances that are just so intoxicating, so enjoyable to just keep on smelling, you might want to get a sample and try this one. I haven't tried everything from MONTALE, but of the like 15 fragrances I've tried and 12 that I own, this is hands down my favorite, and definitely the one I can't stop smelling when I wear is MONTALE Honey Oud. While I do enjoy the entire line, there's no denying the results I've gotten with comments, compliments, and conversations from the aroma this thing leaves in the air. I'm talking about Boss the Scent Private Accord. Dark chocolate, leather, coffee, Maninka fruit, vetiver, a few other notes, but that's what's most dominant. It's a sweet, boozy coffee aroma because that Maninka fruit comes off a little boozy. You have this nice undertone of chocolate without it being a whole bunch of gourmand chocolatiness, like it's overdone chocolate fragrance, with this beautiful, robust coffee that doesn't overtake the fragrance. This is another one that's so well blended and the notes used complement each other so well. It's not some super loud in-your-face fragrance, but it's no slouch either. But like I was saying before, the magic is in the trail with this one as well. Very, very, very intoxicating. This is one that'll keep them coming back. This is one that'll keep you coming back when you wear it. You won't be able to stop smelling yourself. As long as you like anything that I just described about how this fragrance smells, you're bound to like this one. This is the highlight of the line in my opinion, while I do really, really enjoy the Absolute flanker, and I have a strong love for the original and the Parfum. The Intense is no slouch. Haven't tried the newest one, Pure Accord. Haven't heard good things. But this is definitely the one to get. If you're just going to get one, this is the most unique of the crew that for me personally has garnered the best results. This is super intoxicating. Boss the Scent Private Accord. Now, while your results may vary from mine, what seems to be tried and true in the world of mass appealing niche fragrances is the positive effects overall of Parfums de Marly Layton. This is just such a good fragrance. While the opening can be a little much for some and can turn some people off, because yes, I'm going to say it, the geranium in this one, mixed with the vanilla and the spices, the opening does have a Vicks Vapor Rub menthol type of smell. And once you smell it after you hear that, you can't unsmell that ever again. You'll always think Vicks Vapor Rub. I apologize, it happened to me. I have to do it to you guys too, because that's really what it smells like in the opening. And once that tones down after a little bit, the apple comes out a lot more. You get a lot more of this beautiful cardamom spice, the sweet spice to blend well with the vanilla. At its core, it's a lovely spicy vanilla fragrance, and it performs just right. It's long enough lasting. It's like an 8-9 hour fragrance, even bordering that 10-hour range on my skin. Pretty damn long lasting, and this is an attention grabber. It's extremely intoxicating. I know when I wear it, whether it's the original or one of my favorite clones of it, because I have a lot of ways to smell like the scent profile. I have some that are a little bit fresher take, some that are a little bit spicier take, so the much more dark and animalic version, Layton Exclusive. I have Layton Exclusive as well. The original, LAYTON is the way to go. It's going, based on my experience, it's going to garner the most positive attention of all the ways to smell like it. It's got the best quality of all the ways to smell like it because it is Parfums de Marly. It's mass appealing, but still very high quality at the same time. And for me, that's the way to go with niche. I do like a lot of mass appealing fragrances. If you want to smell good and have somebody tell you you smell good, going the mass appealing route can benefit you. And this is a mass appealing, sweet and spicy fragrance that when it came out was a unique DNA, and it's been copied quite a bit on the clone market. But I still think getting the original is the best way to go because it's the best smelling quality in my opinion. I know personally I can't stop smelling myself when I wear it, and I've gotten many compliments when wearing Parfums de Marly LAYTON. While being knocked off is my favorite in its line because Night Vision EDP is just so good to me, there's no denying how intoxicating of a fragrance Spice Bomb Extreme actually is. Most people will argue it's the best of the line, and I won't argue that. I'm not going to pose an argument. Even though Night Vision EDP is my personal favorite, it narrowly edges this out because there's no denying this is one of those masterpiece designer fragrances you hear me talk about from time to time. And while it's not one I feature all the time these days because I don't wear it all that much anymore, when I'm in the mood for something that I know is going to garner some sort of attention because it just smells so damn good. In the cold weather, of course, I reach for Spice Bomb Extreme because this is one of the most well complemented cold weather fragrances that leaves such a seductive, intoxicating trail. If you've yet to try this fragrance, you're doing yourself a disservice. It's lovely, it's beautiful. They don't get heavily discounted from retail, and it's even worth retail. I pay retail upon release for these Spice Bomb flankers when they come out. Granted, I paid like $90 for this one on discount a couple years ago for a tester. You can see the sticker right there for demonstration purposes. $90 for a tester even. So they don't get discounted heavily, but these fragrances, especially the Extreme flanker, are worth every penny in my opinion. And if you want the highlight of the line, which everybody seems to put at the top of the mountain, and I don't blame them, it's sweet, it's tobacco, it's very spicy at the same time without being overly spicy because that vanilla really rounds the edges off to add this beautiful smoothness to it. It's a compliment magnet and it performs really, really well. Check this one out if you've yet to do so. Spice Bomb Extreme from VIKTOR and ROLF. So my wife and myself actually had a dinner date the other night, and while not my usual choice, there's just something about this. It's an intoxicating fragrance in its own right. It's one of my favorite boozy fragrances. It's my favorite tobacco fragrance. It's Argos Triumph of Bacchus. This has matured quite a bit. When I first got this bottle, it was more of a whiskey color. Now it's more of an amber color. It's got much more of a dark burnt orange tint to it these days because it has macerated and matured heavily over the last year and some change. And the peach, that's the main thing that's changed here in this opening, is the peach is robust. It's a dense, juicy peach note that I get in the opening. The apple's more supportive now. It's not in the forefront, it's more in the background in the opening, and I still get that blast of the rum absolute. The tobacco and the spices and all that kind of support it and come out more as it starts to dry, but that opening's all about the peach and the rum for me. And it's not a subtle fragrance, not a room filler, but close. Depending on how much you spray. If you do like 4 sprays like I do, you're not quite going to fill a room, but you're going to be very well pronounced when you walk into a room. And it's long lasting. This is a 10-12 hour fragrance easily, if not more. If you spray your clothes, which I wouldn't advise because of the color and the density, it'll go well past that. But a gorgeous scent, one that I know for myself and my wife, when I wear it, can't stop smelling ourselves. It's my stepdaughter's favorite fragrance. She has my 30 ml bottle that's almost empty. She told me I need to get her another bottle recently. This is gorgeous. If you've yet to try this, it is expensive. Get a sample. There's always an Argos link with a 10% off code in my video descriptions. Get a sample pack. Try what the house has to offer. This is my favorite from the house. It's definitely the most intoxicating. It's definitely the one that's gotten me the most compliments. It's an addictive scent. It's great. Like I said, it's my favorite tobacco scent. Argos Triumph of Bacchus. In my opinion, if compliments is what you're after, if that's extremely important to you, this is one of the better designer fragrances out there that has gotten a lot of people success in that category, myself included. Talking about Paco Rabanne's 1 Million Lucky. This is really, really good. It smells like a designer fragrance, don't get me wrong. It doesn't smell like some high-end luxury fragrance that's made with the highest quality oils in the world. What it does smell like is something that ladies enjoy smelling. That's the most simple way to put this. It's honey, it's hazelnut, it's got the core DNA of 1 Million. It's kind of sticky sweet, it's thick, it really hangs in the air when you walk by. This is a head turner. This is one of the biggest head turners in this video, honestly. And it's probably one of the more synthetic smelling in the video. But there's no denying the results for me personally. Friends of mine that have this, similar results. If you're looking for something that's going to grab somebody when you walk by, you need to get yourself a bottle of 1 Million Lucky. I love Privé. Privé is my personal favorite in the line. I actually wore it a few days ago. I have a backup bottle of Privé. But Privé has never garnered the attention for me that 1 Million Lucky has. And it's probably going to be the same situation for you. If you have both, you probably have similar results. If you don't have either, and you're looking to decide to get something from the 1 Million line, and compliment factor is important to you, you want people to turn heads and tell you they smell good, you might want to look into this one. Definitely the most intoxicating in the line. It's 1 Million Lucky. While I could see how this fragrance is not for everyone, it's a little polarizing. The simplest way that I like to describe, because I wore this a few days ago, I smell like grapes and whiskey when I wear it. It's got this apple brandy smell with grapes. It smells kind of like a bar room, really. It is El GUDO from HAPPYLAND Studios. I say a little polarizing, maybe not for everybody, because it's so boozy. It's super boozy. Probably the most boozy fragrance I have. Whew, God, it smells good though. And I actually forgot about it when I made my boozy fragrance video the other day, because had I not for some reason overlooked it, this definitely should have been in that video, because this is one of the best boozy fragrances in my collection, and the booziest. You're going to smell like you've been drinking, but it has this sweet fruity nuance going for it. Grapes and apples is what I get from it. I believe it's just fruity notes in there, but I get grapes and apples and a heavy dose of it with this beautiful whiskey brandy type of smell. And there's almost this smoky nuance in the background that kind of adds to that barroom feel that I was talking about. It's got this smoky, incensey type of nuance in the background that does come out more as it dries. This is extremely loud, but super intoxicating. There's something so addicting about this fragrance. This is one of my 3 favorite fragrances from the house. HAPPYLAND's got over 20 fragrances at this point. This is top 3 from the minute it came out. Love this stuff. It is so good. This is, every time somebody asks me about fragrance, I'm just wanting to try, dabble into HAPPYLAND Studios, what should I try first? This is always one of the first fragrances to come out of my mouth or when I type a message. This is one of the must-tries from the house. You may end up not liking it, but there is that chance that you're going to be like, oh my God, this is one of the best fragrances I've ever smelled in my life. It's intoxicating like that. At least for me, that's how I feel about it. If you get a sample and try it, you might feel the same way. Easy on the sprays. This stuff fills a room real fast. HAPPYLAND, El GUDO. Speaking of boozy fragrances, we're going to tone back the booze a bit. There's a beautiful Rum Absolute, Violet Leaf. There's this lovely licorice note here. It is Fahrenheit Le Parfum from DIOR. One of the most well-versed designer fragrances ever created. And when I say that, it's because it checks all of the boxes. Longevity, it's great, check. Projection, very well pronounced without filling a room and being obnoxious. It's great, check. Originality of scent profile, robust, rich, unique, yet still true to the DNA. It's great, check. Quality, high level designer from DIOR. Not the highest level, but it smells like the highest level. Yeah, again, it's great. Check. If you can get your hands on this one, get your hands on this one, because in my opinion, it's as close to the perfect designer fragrance, masculine designer fragrance, as there is, because it still has that Fahrenheit smell at its core. Without being overdosed with leather, you still get that petroleum, gasoline, violet leaf smell, but it's toned way back here. You have this rum absolute and licorice to kind of come to the forefront and really change the character of this fragrance. Refines it, smooths it out, adds some masculinity with a much more modern touch. It doesn't smell exactly like the original, but still being true to the original, because the original's a little dated at this point. And it's got some fantastic performance. Some of the best performance I would want from a fragrance that I want to grab attention with, where it's not going to be obnoxious, but once you get a whiff, you're going to want to get closer to smell it a bit better, because this stuff's extremely intoxicating. Like I said, in my opinion, one of the best designers ever made. Dior is really good when it comes to making great designer fragrances. Fahrenheit Le Parfum is nothing short of that. Now, I know all the flankers get a lot of love. Maybe not Freeze. I don't see a ton of love for Freeze. But I know Absolutely and the Leather Flanker and Intensely, they get a lot of love. But for me, I'm still vibing with the original Stronger With You. Because for me and my wife, this is one of the best fragrances in my collection. Very situational. Certain cooler weather date nights, depending on the event, that's when I like to wear this one. My wife loves this one. I try to mix it up. Her favorites I tend to wear a little bit more than others. This, some of the La Nuit de l'Homme flankers, that's really her favorites. That's her taste. She likes the sweet, spicy fragrances. But this one's definitely top 3 for her, based on what she's told me, from the fragrances I like to wear to dinner, or when we go, go to the movies and so on, when we do certain things, just a little couples night out kind of thing. This is one of her personal favorites. So that's why I've never really gotten away from the original, because I know as soon as I go to getting one of their flankers, I'm going to want to wear those and put some miles on that. So when I'm in the mood for Stronger With You, I just stick to what I know she likes. She loves this stuff. I think it smells incredible personally. It's got that Wanted by Night vibe, but doesn't quite smell like Wanted by Night. That's much more sweet, whereas this is much more spicy, a little dry and dusty from the chestnut in here. Very, very lovely fragrance. I'm sure the flankers are lovely. Eventually, I will get to them. I've had a lot of people tell me I need to try them, and I know you guys are right. But for me, the original is just so hard to beat. For my wife as well. Super intoxicating, a sexy aroma. If you haven't tried the original yet, try Stronger With You. Emporio Armani. It's damn good. While this video wasn't necessarily ranked, I did save the best 3 for last. So these 3, this is me personally, okay? This isn't because of things others have said to me, even though they all 3 have garnered some serious attention in the few times I've worn all 3. For me, I can't stop smelling myself when I wear these. Starting with NISHANE Ani. This is the best vanilla fragrance I've ever smelled in my life. This stuff's so good. And this is another one where that benzoin gives off this boozy type of smell. A lot of vanilla going on here. Boozy vanilla smell. I love it. It's warm without being really warm. It doesn't have a ton of spice, but it does have a ton of character. And when this is on my skin, I can't stop smelling myself. I've learned that I have to spray somewhere on my arm or my hand so I can smell like this and not look weird everywhere I go doing one of these moves. Because when I wear this, I have to keep smelling myself. Even though it's kind of in my face, I want a heavier dose, so I got to get closer. This stuff is so good. I've told you guys before, I'm going to tell you again, get a sample and try this one. Is everybody going to feel this way about it? Probably not, but I know a lot of people do. When I've talked about this one in the past, when I've done Scent of the Day posts or whatever, I've gotten a lot of similar feedback to my thoughts and feelings on this. This is one of those best ever made fragrances in my opinion. This is probably my favorite pickup in 2021, and it's definitely my favorite vanilla fragrance ever. This is so intoxicating. My God, I can't stop smelling myself when I wear NISHANE Ani. So, while I love floral fragrances, mostly iris, jasmine, neroli, stuff like that, I do appreciate a good rose fragrance. And this is a great rose fragrance. The most masculine rose fragrance I've ever put my nose on. Of course, I'm talking about Signature Rosé from Zaharoff. I wear this one out the shower some nights. I wear it during the day. I wear it for all sorts of different reasons. I was wearing it during the summer, and it's kind of a little much for summer. This beautiful Bulgarian rose and this Turkish rose Flora Absolute add this bright, fresh, and jammy at the same time watery rose. There's so much different aspects of what quality rose going on in the top, while this gorgeous rose incense, the olibanum tears, really blend well to make this rose incense smell. The oud that's in here comes off across as kind of just a warm wood smell. It's not real oudy. It's not heavily medicinal or barnyard or anything like that. Any of those more challenging ways oud can smell. It's very easygoing warm woods oud with the tonka bean and the sugar cane giving this lovely blended sweetness without it being a very sweet fragrance, because it's not. It has a sweet warm wood aroma with the smokiness in the dry down once the rose starts to fade. It's just such a good fragrance. A must try. I'm not going to say a must buy, because not everybody's going to like rose. I mean, I get that. But even people I've talked to that normally don't care for rose, they've converted, and this is the rose fragrance that they like. So definitely reach out to the Zaharoff website. Get your hands on one of those travel decants. Spend some time with it. More times than not, you're going to end up wanting a bottle of this, because this is one that I had a soap bar of that I went through that I loved taking showers with that bar. It made my whole bathroom smell like signature rosé. It's just so good. Intoxicating. I never thought I would sit here and talk about how intoxicating and gorgeous a men's rose fragrance is, but that's reality. Try it. Maybe you'll understand where I'm coming from. Zaharoff Signature Rosé. Last but not least is probably the most interesting fragrance I own. It was sent to me by the brand as a surprise package. I'm always humbled when they want to send me something. I'm talking about Parfums, and I was not expecting this, because honestly, it's not something I ever would have bought, because it's so crazy immensely expensive. We're talking over $1,000 US. Keep that in mind. I'm talking about DIAGHILEV from Parfums. This, wow, isn't good enough. Wow is just not good enough. There's this engulfed sweetness, amber, civet, animalic, musky, leathery smell. There's so much going on. Oh, it's filling this area. It's spicy. It's densely spicy too. This is a thick fragrance. This is a nuclear. It's choking me out almost just from that little bit I sprayed in the air. That wasn't big sprays. Like, it's taking my breath away. This is something just, oh my God. This is an OMG fragrance. It's beyond wow. It's a challenging wear, because I can't think of too many situations where I would want to be this potent, this strong smelling, and so unique. I can't stop. Like, I'm enjoying it. It's taking my breath away because it's so densely strong right here. It's hanging in the air. But I'm enjoying every whiff. God, this stuff smells so good. Not the cheapest thing to get a hold of to try. If you want unique, uniquely crazy potent, a once-in-a-lifetime olfactive experience is how I would put it, because that's how I feel every time I smell it, you should get a decant of this. Obviously, a full bottle is only for those that have very expendable funds to just play around with, because it's crazy expensive. This is upper echelon expensive for perfumery. Okay, like I said, had it not been sent to me by the brand, I would have never bought it. I'm just going to be honest with you guys, because it's crazy expensive. But oh my God, does it smell like what it costs. It's still floating in the air. It has not really faded much. If you don't like cloves, avoid this. It does have a dense clove smell, but this might be the most dense and unique fragrance I've ever smelled that I can't get enough of. Definitely the most animalic I own that I enjoy. I do have other animalic fragrances that I don't enjoy near as much. So the blend here is so immensely unique, crazy intoxicating, and an extremely acquired taste, but is so magnificent. I can't imagine how else to try to explain it than how I just explained this fragrance. If you can, or any of what I said interests you, get your nose on this for an olfactive treat. DIAGHILEV, Raja Parfums. Well, that's the 15 that I have for you. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. So I do appreciate all the feedback and I love hearing from you guys. Do you have any of these fragrances that were featured in this video? What do you think about them? Are there some in this video that have piqued your interest that you've yet to try? And maybe something I said kind of made you think, get my nose on that. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of these 15 and you give them a spray now, pretty confident you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.